Papa, now you love me so, and you know my name. I give you glory. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. You know my name, oh Daddy, You know me, you know my name. I can see your hand in my life. Lord, I see your love upon me. Every time I look around, now you are the see. Every time I turn around, now you are the view. I dey hear your voice in my heart. Lord, I feel your love over me. Every time I look around, now you are the see. Every time I turn around, now you are the pillow. Abba Father, you know my name. Papa, you know me. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yeah, yeah. Jesus, your love, now oh. My master, your kindness, now wonder oh. Every time I look around, now you are the sea. Every time I turn around, now you are the view. Jesus, you said I be a picking no. Jesus, you said your love will cover me. Every time I look around, now you are the sea. Every time I look around, now you are the pillow. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, yeah. You know me, you know my name. Papa, you know my name, oh. Hey. You know me, you know my name. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yeah, yeah. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Papa, you know my name, oh. You know me, you know my name. Yelele, 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 yeah. Hey, yeah. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yelele. Oh, oh. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name.
Thank you very much, Minister Sama, for that drilling. We really appreciate you. Thank you. I want to greet the Amazonian people and tell them that by God's special grace, we are alive today to give God the praise. And I want to let the Amazonian people know that there are 21 gun salute to the people on home front who are standing there to make sure they defend the home front. I also want to let the Ambazonian people know that we are today talking on current events turn history. I'll be back shortly. There is some echo there. Let me come.
Your love over me. Every time I look around, now you are the sea. Every time I turn around, now you are the below. Abba Father, you know my name. Papa, you know me. Yeah. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yeah, yeah. Jesus, your love, now oh. My master, your kindness, now wonder oh. Every time I look around, now you are the sea. Every time I turn around, now you are the view. Jesus, you said I be a picking, no. Jesus, you said your love.
Yes. Thank you very much. Minister Sama, Jesus, you say, I be your King. And I agree to that very well. The Ambazonian people greet you. And I'll be very sorry for the late start, but we will be able to finish our program. Current events turn history. Today, all right, let's get some pause there and then I'll be right back.
You are the sea. Every time I look
You can hear
around,
now.
now you are the pillow. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, yeah. You know me, you know my name. Papa, you know my name, oh. And you know my name. I give you glory. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. You know my name, oh Daddy, yeah. You know me, you know my name. I can see your hand in my life. Lord, I see your love upon me. Every time I look around, now you are the sea. Every time I...
Thank you very much, Minister Sama. Anytime I look around now, you are the sea. Well, fellow Amazonians, we are extremely grateful again that another day is dawned on us. And today, on our history, I will be bringing to you current events turn history. I'm sure those of us who do understand that history can only come when current events have taken place. And right now, we are still in the course of current events, which are gradually turning into history. And it would not be very okay and very good if we stay quiet without informing you of what is going on as touching current events. And for you to just hear them when they are now pronounced as history, you would be surprised that what happened. Now, it's because the current events that are turning history are happening right within your reach, but you are ignorant of what the current events are actually. Sometimes you even play a part in the current events that eventually will become history. And once you are in that situation, I'm telling you, it will be difficult for you to actually notice and agree and go ahead with the present reckoning because it was happening and you never really took note. And being very considerate and wanting us Amazonian people to quickly get up and join hands in the history that we are making, which we want it to be positive. I want to keep you posted and informed as we go ahead. So, in the few minutes ahead of us, I will be telling you and showing you very practically some of the current events that have actually turned out to be history, of which we are now looking into them and talking about them. Now, the first thing I want to say is that I will not go back to the long history that we all know that started some years ago, around the 60s, when we were deceived into this dilemma in which we find ourselves today in a genocidal war that is taking place in Amazonia. Now, I will not take you that long history. I will just cut things in the middle. I will encourage you to go back to the archives and search out, because as you go out back into the archives and you begin to search out, I am very sure you will you will come out to know a lot of things that you're supposed to know, which are actually happening in our revolution, of which, as I said, you might be a contributor, but in ignorance. You say, but excuse me, historian, you mean that somebody can be contributing and at the same time he is ignorant? Of course, yes, it happens, and that happens very often when people are seriously doing whatever they are doing, and sometimes they think that they are doing it against one person or doing it against a particular group or doing it against Ambazonia, and they are Ambazonians, because I will not doubt if our history is carried out in the negative by La République du Cameroon. That one will not be, it will not be story. Yeah, it will not be news. But when it is carried out by us, it becomes a very serious matter. Yes, it becomes a very serious matter when we Ambazonians are the very people who are negatively affecting our own history. Yeah, I say all this to prepare the ground to let you know that the time has come and the making of our history currently is right in our hands, and there is nothing we can do to stop it, because it is right in our hands. And because it is right in our hands, we must go ahead and do it the way we're supposed to do it. And so today, I will be starting right from 2018. Remember, 2018 January 5th, the president, Sisiko Ayuktabe, and all his crew was adopted and sequestrated. That is, I don't know how to call it, kidnapped. Yeah, that's the right word I should use. They were all kidnapped by La République du Cameroon, and they were ferried to La République du Cameroon. And why and how and what they were doing to be kidnapped, all of them, is still geography. Maybe one day it will materialize to history, and then we shall know the reason. But for now, we still know it as geography. Yeah. Now, I say geography in my own wordings and in my own calculation, so don't misquote me. I'm simply saying that the reasons for which they were kidnapped and taken to La République du Cameroon, the reasons why they were meeting, the reasons are not yet known. And I believe that one day the reasons shall be made known. And when they are made known, of course, we who are here, waiting, we shall also know the reason why they were taken. But then that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the 2018, after they were taken away, a man appeared on the scene. A man appeared on the scene called the interim acting president. He had the word acting because there were all hopes that Ayuktabe and his group were going to resurface so that we can continue as Ambazonians. But unfortunately, till date, he has not resurfaced, and we cannot stay quiet and let things stay dormant because he has not resurfaced. And when this man came in, for the first few months of his being inaugurated as the interim acting president, he concentrated as a patriot, as a humanitarian person, as a humble man, wanting his boss at that time to be released. He concentrated and went looking for him. Some people criticized him so much, some people castigated him, but he knew what he was doing. He conducted the search until after some months they surfaced. Meanwhile, like I told you before, there are people whom the devil has put a natural hatred in their hearts towards some people, that when they hear something evil about you, they don't need to go find out. They already conclude, meaning that they were already having odds against you for nothing. You don't know them. Maybe people have not interacted, but the devil just put in their hearts to hate you. And so some people that I would want to say here that hated Ayuktabe and his group already went out there making propaganda. They have been killed. They have been thrown into the sea. No use using money to look for them and so on. Because, like I said, the interim acting president spent a fortune, part of the MTT that has been a sing-song in the past, to search for these guys until they were found. And to tell you and show you how ungrateful human beings are, when they were found, knowing fully well that a captive in the hands of his captors cannot be a liberator because he is not liberated. That idea and that mindset wiped out from Ayuk and his gang, and they started castigating until we came to a point where it was now him and some few knuckleheads out here who were free to try to create another parallel government of which is died a natural death, because a prisoner in the hands of the captors will dictate what the captors want. And only a free person can free people, but a person who is in captivity cannot free people. Now, many people felt that he was still very correct to be giving instructions and giving directives, of which a few who are conscientious and knows what it means to be a liberator decided to say, no, we are not going to take this crap. It has never happened. Now, some people went ahead to quote Mandela. Yeah, I know that Mandela wasn't the person giving orders from prison. Even if he was giving orders from prison, he had able men that he relied on. But our young man, I don't know whether drunken with power, and the other old people who were in the battle for long, they were calling him Johnny Just Come, castigating. And actually, after they discovered that they could not be the pilots, they joined hands with La Republic to make sure that we don't go anywhere. And the story continues. But because of the resilience, that the present interim government put up and stood for what they know, because, when you have a plan and you have a mission, you will focus. So the interim government's plan, mission, and focus continued. Now, a lot of distractors came in. I'm talking current events that actually are now history. A lot of distractors came in, and he pinned his feet down and told the Ambazonian people, now that we are out from the tyranny of La Republic and the intimidation and their corruption, we will not go that route no more. A few people who were still making gains from La Republic and whose blood has been stained with the La Republic blood of corruption felt that he was becoming too strict and closing up avenues for them to siphon like La Republicans have done. And in the course of doing that, he came up with the decentralized government. He decentralized everything. And unfortunately, if I'm not misquoting, my history as a human may be not 100% accurate, but what I'm saying, I know that is between 90 and 95% accurate. And so the first of his decentralization came in as local governments and as counties. And if I'm not underestimating, about 85%, if I'm not overestimating and underestimating, 85% of the local government chairmen were crooks that came from La Republic. Most of the money that was collected in his launch of draft in 2020 went into the hands and pockets of some of these people who up till tomorrow could not give an account. And when they could not give an account, they started shouting out and accusing who? The president. And the accusation went on to the point that some park boys who had no job, most of them did not allow school to go through them, even though they went to school. They came out with unfounded reports, allegations, and smearing lies, talking things that they cannot substantiate. And they call themselves activists. They castigated and said a lot of things. But this interim government, whom they think is Dr. Sako, he now faced the bullets. Of course, as the head of any department, anything going wrong there, you, the head, you have to bear the brunt. And so every stone, every rotten thing was thrown on him. But because he had a plan, he had a focus, and he had a plan, he has a focus, and he had what I will call resilience, at the mission, he went ahead with his mission. And in the course of going ahead with his mission, I told you, attacks from all corners have come. But guess what? He has not, for any reason, given in to any of the attacks. He has continued and has continued and has continued and is continuing with the plan that he had for Ambazonia. The mission to be accomplished, he is going ahead with that mission to accomplish the mission for us to get back to Boya. Now, let me tell you, when the saga of MTT was over and the draft came in, and these local government, some of the local government chairmen swindled the money. Of course, there were two people, or let me say three people, who were planted in his administration to make sure that he goes nowhere. They joined hands. I would say here that they did not only join hands with people physical, they joined hands with the devil to make sure that this man fails woefully. So that number one, the name of Jesus that he is preaching should be dragged to the mud. Number two, his person should be disgraced or stained and given a bad name. But because he who comes to equity must come with clean hands, and if you come to equity with clean hands, you must step out unblamed, undisciplined, unpunished, because justice and truth goes together. He came out and he's still coming out. Now, there became a disgruntlement in his government as the days went by. He was making sure that the institutions that have been put in place be obeyed. And different institutions were put in place, like the Ethics Commission, the Judicial Commission, and then, the defunct RC, which has people that had no commitment to any of their counties or LGAs. We had strange people who were not contributing a dime into the coffers of the interim government, and they were very fast to come and make an audit of something that they did not contribute. Quite laughable, isn't it? Yeah, it is. And so, because he has a plan, the interim government, when I say he, I'm talking about the interim government. I know all of you are directing to Dr. Sako, which of course I agree. Because he has a plan, he has a mission, and he has a focus, he continued. Very renowned and honorable people that were surrounding him dropped out, and they said all kinds of things. And then they got some aristocrats who were very, very, they are oracles. They can talk, they can articulate very well, and they came up with bump up and jumped up stories that cannot be defined, that cannot be verified, and they leveled it not only on the interim government, but also on the person of the leadership of the interim government. All that did not work. Another thing is that a number of people who are in the disagreement with the interim government and did not want to agree with the with the institutions that have been put in place, they wanted everything to be answered by Dr. Sako. I happen to have talked to some chairmen, and I told them that, look, this man whom you want to answer everybody, answer the chairman of local government areas, answer the county chairs, answer the judiciary, answer the ethics commission, answer the communication, answer everybody. He is a human being just like you are, sir. And he has given us the decentralization by giving us institutions where we can take our problems to. I will relate one here, which I actually talked with the chairman, and I tried to explain to him, but he didn't, and he couldn't answer me. But he was adamant and very, very bitter against Dr. Sako. Oh, he does not pick my calls. Oh, I give him advice he doesn't take, and blah, blah. No, that was not advice. That was instruction. When you give an advice to somebody, it is an advice. It is for the discretion of that person to take the advice or not. But when you give an advice and you insist that he must take to what you have said, then you are giving instructions. And that continued, not only from one person that caused the hell. I'm talking about current events that happened in the interim government. And these current events are now history. So I'm not talking about just one person who came up with the story of the yam must be taken away because it is bad, and the tire, and so on. And eventually we discovered that he was actually the tire that's supposed to have been taken out earlier on. And you know, when you are chasing a thief and he's running and pointing finger, thief, 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 other people will be surprised, but he is the thief. And so, because he was the black leg and the cocoyam that was bad and the broken tire, people could not quickly notice it. It went on until, of course, I'm talking about current events that are history. It went on until it came into where we are today. And I was saying that I spoke to one particular person because there were two guys that were very close to Mr. President, and they were out to derail and to stop us from going to Buea. And they could answer him, yes, sir, pretentiously, like a certain clan in Nigeria. I won't call their names. When they are greeting you, they can even lie down. But as soon as they get up, they'll be insulting and say, look at him. He thinks I'm really bowing down to him. I mean, don't mind him. And that is what was happening in the interim government. Mr. President had some people that were answering yes, sir, that he could even vouch for them. But unfortunately, there was a time I had to quarrel, not really quarrel, but I had to talk very strongly to the administrator of one of the branches of the interim government. I won't mention the name. And I told this person that, look here, the blames that are going to Mr. President are caused by his associates. And I particularly mentioned the associate, of which one of the local government chairmen who complained bitterly and was harsh about Mr. President, I called him and I narrated the history to him, and I told him what was going on. This was in the course of the COD, that is the Chief of Defense of different LGAs. Now, this particular LGA that I'm talking about had chosen their Chief of Defense, sent it to the office of Mr. President, and of course, it did not reach the office of Mr. President because there was somebody who was in charge of that. And of course, when they were blaming Mr. President, I said, yes, you are right to blame him because it is his chief. But let me tell you what is going on. And when I explained to this man and gave him details, I also tried to get in touch with Mr. President. And it was only there and then that Mr. President realized and saw a coup that was being planned. You know, he doesn't talk. You know, he's quiet. He waits until you are caught by the risk before he now does what he does. But we had caught this man long ago who was there. The names that this local government chairman sent in, that name was completely wiped out because this particular man I'm talking about, sitting at the presidency, had determined that the president should fail. And so he was getting names of people that were his friends, that were coup plotters, that were criminals, that will anger the chairpersons not to have any confidence in the president. And he was sending out signals that were not good. Well, some of us saw it. We started talking it. Since we are not diviners, no Ngambe people, neither are we people that have the Oaja board to send in the Oaja board and get things done. We kept us quiet. But then it actually and quietly manifested that this is what we're talking about. And when the interim government now came to realization, some of these people who are now styled like coup plotters, and some people call them disgruntled, Ambazonians and so many other names like that, is because they wanted Mr. President to be talking to everybody and take everybody's advice, or rather instructions. And so, because he had a plan, he had a mission, he had a focus for the Ambazonian people, he said, hey, gentlemen and women, let's go in our focus. Let's go with our mission. Let's continue with our plans. Now, all distractions by the sideways came and they could not work. Now what I was saying is that when the advice, the call, advice, or instructions were given and Mr. President could not just accept to put it everywhere, they castigated him and formed a clique. And this clique were friends in crime, friends who do not want us to go to Ambazonia. Let me tell you what I mean by that. They are really sincere. They are fighting for us to go to Ambazonia, but they are not knowledgeable how we can get to Ambazonia. And they don't want to join the truth of the journey to Ambazonia. Remember, there is a saying that the truth is bitter, but must be told. Now, some of these people, they went out and formed their own kind of Jangi house to take us to Ambazonia. I have been waiting and I've been listening to know exactly what their take and their program is. Now, some of them, I will say, because I have not actually done my investigation as a historian, before I say something here, I must be ready to authentically prove it, like the two gentlemen that stood by the president and were pretending to say, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. I can say so much about them, but that is not important. I'm telling you about history. I mean, current events that have turned into history. And you know me, I don't like to talk the negative history. I like to talk the positive history. And so the positivity of the interim government continued with their plan, their mission, and their focus. And some of these people who could not stand the truth, like I told you, remember I told you that some of them became very angry with him because he locked all the rat holes, not with corn, not with granite, but with stones, whereby these people who are siphoning, these people who will take money that they want to buy materials and then play double game and stage play robbery and stage play other things. Some people are really genuine. Oh, they actually bought the things and they did not go through. But some actually stage play robbery and stage play scamming, you know. And when they stage play scamming, the lies that they will come and tell, tomorrow they will talk another story. So we know them. Anyway, Ambazonia have them in their archives when we get home with this kind of people. But the other ones that have come outrightly to hijack the foundation of the Ambazonian people in a land that is a lawful land, they will pay for it. Just hold on. Time will tell. Now, let me go ahead. Now, I was very, very clear in my research to say that the ex-VP of our interim government at that time was actually slow waters that run deep, because he stood as a hindrance and did everything for Dr. Sako to fail, so that the demonic prophecy that came out from one Jezebel, who said she was a servant of God, that he would be president and the other one would be this and that, they all came to pass, even though some people saw it as an overstatement. It was not, but it came to pass. But the point is that a person who has a plan and who has a mission and is focused and is dealing not only with humans, but dealing with God, God will always puncture that pregnancy when it's just about 9 months to be delivered. It will puncture it. And so their plans were punctured and they went helter-skelter with a tipper load of accusations. And when they discover that this man has plans, mission, and focus, they now turn to the people who are like close to him, who are following very closely. And they now started heaping the accusations on them. so that they can intimidate them and make them to run away, so they should not be blackmailed. But when you are blackmailed for something that is true, that's no more blackmailing. They're just publicizing the truth of what you have to do. Allow me to take a sip. I will be right back. Yes. While I take a sip, I want my brother to tell us how Jesus loves us, and then we continue from there.
Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. You know my name more than the air.
Thank you very much, brother. He knows my name. Yes, and he knows the name of the interim government of the Federal Republic of Amazonia. He knows the name. And that's why people sit down and say, but where did this man come with this wisdom? They call him common sense man. He has almost an answer to everything. And when he does it, I've told people that when you are on God's side, people should learn to listen. And if they don't understand, they should just follow up. I am telling you, I have said it and I'm saying it again. The plans, the mission, and the focus of this interim government, if an average Ambazonian had been very serious to go to Buea and had followed up, I think would have been 1/4 remaining. But I want to tell you that, first of all, Ambazonia spiritually has been taken. That's why we come here and we talk smiling. We don't talk crying, because we know that Abba Father, to whom this very interim government in 2018, I'm sure he prayed the prayer of Solomon. He said, Father, riches I don't want, popularity I don't want, good name I don't want. What I want is wisdom to take your people back to Buea. And guess the answer. God told him, okay, since you don't want popularity, I'll make you popular. Since you don't want riches, I'll make you rich. Since you don't want all that you have mentioned, I will do it, and I'll give you added wisdom to take these people to Buea. And that's why people are so surprised and they are asking. But, I remember one of the times I overheard the coup plotters saying, let's take action now, because if you leave it in the next 7 hours, this man will come in and bouleverse and throw everything out. They think that he is the man. No, he is not. It's God who is on the forefront. And there is no way you can plan ahead of God. You cannot. No. Before you even start thinking about it, God is already on the known. And so I'm telling you current events that have taken place in our short years of this interim government. But as I told you, I wouldn't want to go into the negative side. I like to talk positivity. Now, being a man that has a plan, has a mission and a focus, he has continued. An average Ambazonian knows how many scammers have come into the interim government, and when they could not have their way through, they either go out and form stories. Somebody right here. The coupists are darkness. You will find out more later. A bunch of bandits. You can go join them. No skin from our nose. Thank God. Pastor, tell your truth to power. History is ongoing and will be judged. Our man. Okay. Our man of God. All right. Thank you very much for that comment. I think I saw another comment here. Somebody wrote, a cage man trying to liberate free people. I said, mention some name. Mr. Rambo, please go and join the new leadership. Leave all this you are. Okay. This is a coup plotter and an idolist, a Republican that doesn't know what he's talking about. Another person, right? Lavisha saving whoever you are with that fake profiles. Okay, it's a man. There is Labista Savon. If you are real, what kind of name is this? Labista Savon. I think it's a demonic name, and that's why you will speak derogatively and demonically. We know you people. All right, if you are real, then put your real name. Let's know you. Because when I know your name, like I see here, I see a few names here. Rufina Ying, I can guess where she comes from. I see here Miki Nchechuma, I can guess where it comes from. I can see here Batibu Nelson, I can guess where it comes from. And so many other names like that, I can see and know them. But this one, where you say your name is Lobster, Lobista, what kind of name is this? It's just a name from a demon, I guess, and we don't want to have demons on our platform. Please go find where you are supposed to be. All right, now let's come back home. If you come here to learn quietly and peacefully. Now, when all this was going on, making history, the Mr. President went ahead and continued in his job. And in the 2002 Washington ASSC2, the interim government came out with the interim House of Representatives, where we have people that are really, really representing people, not ghosts, and where we have people that will be checked, not those ones when they had the big name of a council member, they became the King Kongs. They were not paying their draft, they were not paying the CID, they were not contributing nothing. They were too big to attend their local government meetings because they were now the big women and the big men of the interim government. No, sir. We are looking for servant leaders, not big men like La Republique. We are looking for servant leaders, whereby you will go right down to the grassroots and talk with your people. So if you say you are a council member or the interim House of Rep, and you are not attending meetings, and you are not briefing the people of what is going on in the council, and that is the people who sent you there, you now become a big man. There's no difference between you and La Republique. But here, in this new government, we are talking about decentralization, where the powers are in the hands of the people from the grassroots. And we have seen it already taking place very, very clear in the interim government, in that nobody just gets up and does anything. Now, I've heard a lot of people, plus the director, the chair lady of the board of directors, and I've found out from the representative of my county in the National Treasury how transactions are gone. And all of them, plus the director of resource mobilization, they have all come out to testify that, you see, the president does not have any means of breaking through and getting into the National Treasury to collect money. He has no access. But guess what? When some of the unscrupulous fellows that surround him, who are thieves, when they bring out the money and give it to them, they steal the money. Even people on the home front, like I heard an audio today, I just pity that young man. He said some people call themselves president. And just like I heard in the news, that when they are pointing fingers to anybody who says in the diaspora, they are talking about the interim government. Because the groups that are deceiving them and they are being killed, when the groups deceive them or the individual deceive them and they get killed, guess what? The interim government becomes the Nkoko. That is the person who carries the blame. And of course, the stamina with which God has given to the interim government to be able to bear the brunt is an indication of who a leader is. Yeah, a leader, like I told some of my old friends who are now on the other side, that as a government, you have a personality and a dignity that I don't need to go to social media to answer any question and every question. And then one of them told me, well, nobody can take away my rights. Even though I'm a government man, I'm still an activist. No, sir. When you are a government man, you don't talk like an activist. No, you talk constructively. And of course, you don't answer every dick and Tom. No, you answer realities. When people are actually searching to know the truth and they have real questions, those are the people you answer. Not every social media talk that you go to answer. No. So our government continuously was continuously being attacked, and they tried every kind of labeling and calling names and accusations. It didn't work. So they now came down to the house to say that, oh, he stole money in the house. When it did not work, they went and got one poor man who is managing with CDC, got his documents and all the people and presented them and paraded them and said, this is what is going on. What a shame, what a shame, what a shame that you want to achieve a positive, truthful game by telling lies and hack up stories, and you think you will win. You cannot win in such a situation, especially in a land like Ambazonia, where we got up one morning and said, we have handed over to God. And you were there, even though you don't believe in the God, but you accepted. If you have a disclaimer that you don't believe in the God to whom we handed over Ambazonia, then put it in writing, because every government is noted in writing. That's why we have archives. It's not just a noise in the social media that should be taken for the truth of whatever it is. No, we don't take noise on social media to be the government. Anybody can come to the social media and say anything. But when you come into a forum and into an institution like ABC, which is the government's own spokes channel, then you should get ready not to listen to stories. That's why I don't like to call some names when I'm talking here about our government, because our government is not a storyteller. They are actually repeating and reporting history so that you can learn. It's rather unfortunate that a lot of people, when they listen here, they are already biased. They are already biased before they come in to hear the truth. If they were not biased and they were just very neutral to listen to the truth, somebody will not believe and will not think that a group should get up and tell us to dissolve the interim government and create groups. And in the course of creating the groups, we should form a revolutionary council. What the heck? What is the revolutionary council? If we are forming a revolutionary council, then stop deceiving yourself that you restored the independence of southern Ambazonia in 2017. Then you should tell Ayuk Tabe that, please, it would not have been good for you to return our independence of 1st October 1961 on the 1st of October 2017. You would have just told us that let's form a kind of a revolutionary council. And they will know that we're fighting to go somewhere. But when you agree that, look, this is a government that has been restored, then which government has been restored? The groups? You want us to come into groups? You know, or you jump out from the government that has been restored because you are claiming that you were supposed to be the leader. Yet you cannot lead the little group that you have to be transparent. All of the groups that I know in the current affairs of Ambazonia, I've never heard any of them render any audit in the public to the Ambazonian people. I don't want to name the groups here, but you know yourselves. But your eyes are pointed to the interim government that you are not even contributing there. Then you want to know the account. What does that tell just a common man on the ground? I think this should tell you that this is the government that is leading, and you should listen to them just because of these attacks. And then when I hear ignorant fighters come up and say that, I call them ignorant fighters. Come and say that some call themselves president and the diaspora, blah, blah, blah. I listen to him with pity. I say, this one, sorry, is creating a current event that will soon turn into history, because nobody will come out from a house and shit at the door of the house and refuse to go into the house because of whatsoever. If you are that individual, my dear friend, I want to tell you that so there are a lot of things that are going on. Let me take a sip again, and then I will come back. I will continue. There is a report that is coming in. I am not of the security, of the defense, and so on, but a friend is just writing to me right now, saying some things which I may want to take permission before I announce on the air. Anyway, I'm talking about current events that are taking place and they are becoming history. Reverend John Sama, please, could you please come in and then tell us a little bit of how he knows the name of...
I can see your hand in my life. Lord, I see your love upon me. Every time I look around, now you are the sea. Every time I turn around, now you are the view. I dey hear your voice in my heart. Lord, I feel your love over me. Every time I look around, now you are the sea. Every time I turn around, now you are the pillow. Abba Father, you know my name. Papa, you know me. Yeah. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yeah, yeah. Jesus, your love, now oh. My master, your kindness, now wonder oh. Every time I look around, now you are the sea. Every time I turn around, now you are the view. Jesus, you said I be a picking, oh. Jesus, you said your love go cover.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Reverend Sama. I think the Ambazonian people who didn't know and do not want to know, I want you to know that Ambazonia has been handed over to God. And because it has been handed over to God, everybody in Ambazonia belongs to God. And God knows you, even though you refuse to know him, but he will know you and he knows you. Anyway, I'm talking about current events that have turned into history. Now, I told you that when I just started, I let you know that most of the people who are sitting out there, especially some chairmen in their LGAs who cannot even talk to all the people in their LGA, are blaming the president for not talking to them. For not talking to them. You have 61 local governments, and everybody will want to talk. And when he divides and gives the institutions, if you want to talk to him, if you cannot go through the Ethics Commission, go to his vice president, go to other institutions and lay a complaint or bring a suggestion. And then some very disgruntled people okay, I would like to, the person talking to me from Homefront is very serious and is talking. I don't know if I can get, well, I think I will not want to say any counter thing here of what he is saying, but let me just go ahead. I'll get back to him after this program, and then I can now report to the appropriate quarters. You see, we are very organized in the interim government, and you don't just, this is a security report that I'm just getting now, but I can't just go ahead and put it out there. I will need to find out. All right. Thank you very much, my friend, for being an eye to the Ambazonian people on Homefront. Yes, I don't know whether it was ethics or communications that said that see something, report something, and you are doing exactly what was said. Thank you very much for that. It is still history that is in the making. So, my friends, in a few minutes, I'll be rounding up. What I really wanted to let Ambazonians know is that we have gone very, very far, and we are not looking back. And that from 2018, there was a plan, there was a mission, and there was a focus. Until tomorrow, it has not changed. I remember I grew up in La République du Cameroon when they arrested, when they annexed us, and when they tried to assimilate us. And when they come up with a law, people will obey it for 2-3 weeks, it will die, and nothing will be heard about it. They'll bring another new one. In fact, they completely dumped their constitution. But the interim government came up and said, no, we will abide by our constitution. Unscrupulous fellows came up thinking that they were going to be like La Republic, where some people are esteemed to be above the constitution, but they met with the rock. They met with the plan, with the mission, or with the focus of the interim government to make sure that they don't water it down, they don't dilute it. They stand for what the British, even though they sold us out, but our fathers learned from them. They were very strict, very stringent, and they stood on what they had to stand for. And that is exactly the kind of government we have reinstituted. And then when the British left, of course, Gomjua, when he took over, he stood on the ground and faced the colonizers head on. And of course, his timely death came. And a number of people who managed to run out of that land, like some of us have run out, and we are able to tell the history. A lot of us in school were deprived of our history because the Republic knew that if we come to the knowledge of our history, it will be war. But they decided to hide. But unfortunately, they could not hide it for long, because they always say that 99 days for the thief and 1 day for the master. And so La Republique enjoyed their 99 days by destroying all our economy. The unfortunate thing they did not do was to dig out all the gold and the trees and the other mineral resources that are found in Ambazonia to carry to their land. That was the good thing that they could not do. But then the people who were coming up, I remember my younger brother came in and wanted to establish a business. The taxes they gave him sent him off. And those taxes are just a method to make sure that you become a beggar and you continue to beg. Yes, you continue to beg. So we now know that the La République du Cameroon has recruited a lot of people, poisoned a lot of Ambazonians who cannot reason and who cannot want to sit back and work out their freedom. And then some demonic people. There's one Nat Nat. If that is your true name, Nat Nat, where are you coming from? Nat Nat, you may be a demon and an agent of darkness sent in here to come and propagate the lies. Go to the Coup Plotters group, because I know that's where you belong. You that's where you belong, and you have no business with our history and of course with our current events. I have said it before and I want to say it. I don't want to go back to use anything that is of negative, because we tell the story how we overcome when the negative have been put to silence. And I believe Ambazonia, the interim government, has put the negative to silence. That is why some of them who come in here once in a while, they come and listen and they are confused and they hear the truth. And because their ears, they have itchy ears, they want to hear a lie that will suit them. And they are going nowhere, turning around and then making, Ambazonian, let me tell you, our interim government has institutions. Go and follow these institutions, you will not be missing. Now, somebody who says he's fighting for Ambazonia and he is not in his LGA, he's not obedient to his LGA, and is claiming to listen to some individuals that actually have taken sides with the Republic and they are planning to do the worst for Ambazonia, just know that you are building on sinking sand. Why? Because God has taken over. And when God took over, of course, Satan also came around. And so I will not be surprised if this fellow is not La Republique, but a demon that has been demonized by La Republique to fight against his own people, that will come and be making useless noise. We don't go with those kind of noises that are being made. So, demon, I bind you and I cast you out in the name of Jesus. He's a historian. Yes, it happens. When I say like that, those demons, they go away. Now, I told you I would not want to talk about anything that is negative. Somebody sent a word here talking about our consul, 135,000 in the treasury, and the new thieves and so on. I don't want to read the comment. I just pick out some few things there. There are some comments that I don't want to bring on our program today, because I want us to see the positivity. I want us to see the what do I say? I want us to see the gains that we have made, and we are riding on. We are riding on. The interim government is strong and makes things public. Now, I have been watching out from the other groups to find out if they will make their publications public. How much money did they raise? How much came in? Where did they send the money? I'm yet to see that. I'm yet to hear that. And then the boys, call them boys, not because they are really boys, but our fighters on the ground, they have been deceived and given poisonous money. And because everybody wants money, so they have been deceived. And so many things that are happening, which were not happening when we were not as enlightened as we are today. But the more we get enlightened, the more greed, selfishness, and attacks from people who have been sent out of business. I think I overheard one of the fellows in those days, I think the person of Nambere, whom I know that he accused Mr. President, but it was actually one of I don't want to call names, that demon that pretended and traveled worldwide with Ambazonian funds. And when they send him to go and give money to Ambazonians, he will go and give peanuts and pocket the rest. And will talk with a loud voice. Nothing, just empty noise with nothing that is substantial. Whenever this fellow talked, I wasn't feeling okay in my spirit. Then he now will go to give money to to support our boys. He will pocket the money, and then the blame will go to the president. Of course, I said it. Mr. President must carry the blame because he's the commander-in-chief. And if anything goes wrong, they put it on him. If something goes right, they put it on him. But it's good that we Ambazonians, we are fishing out those fellows who sat in the place as an intermediary to the people of Ambazonia, relaying as liaison officer to Mr. President, and they were crooks. It's just the kind of things that we see in the Chindas of today. But in my days, when the British just left, everybody was upright. Even our phones. If you are in Chinda and you take something and you hide and you pervert justice, the day the phone hears about that, you are sacked. Oh yes, you are sacked. And sometimes your family is banished from the palace. But with the corruption and with the stealing, the network that has been put in place, we have people like Nat who are, in connection with that network to come in here and advocate for their coup plotters groups, and when they do that, they think that they are doing good for the revolution. Meanwhile, they are self-destructive. Well, Ambazonians, that is the current events that have taken place. The list is not exhausted. I shall be coming back possibly with an anchor person, and then we'll get back to deal with this particular subject, and they will bring out more, because I know that people like my co-host of this program, Dr. Tata, Dr. Lobati, and some others that I'm still looking for. Please, if you are there and you have this history of ours at hand, even if you read it from the books, we need you at this time to educate our people. because a lot of people are still very lazy to read. Ambazonians, yes, they are very lazy to read. And when somebody reads and comes and is talking, since they have been brainwashed, either in the spiritually or physically with lies cooked up. Remember, we all know that the truth is bitter, but lies are so sweet that can quickly get people into their camps. But once you get into a camp where there are lies and you are a truthful person, I am telling you, you will not last there for long. One day you will jump out because you thought that this was what was going on, that it was the truth you were hearing. I will not forget to quote our, I don't know whether it's a red feather or a knight of Ambazonia. I don't know what position Mr. President gave to Dr. Tita, who thought that the coup plotters were actually speaking the truth and they had found out a number of things. And being a sincere person from his heart, he went in there doing everything possible to make sure that, the truth is being spoken. And when he discovered that they were all innuendos and all lies and all game planning, of course, he jumped out. And when he jumped out, of course, the plotters felt that that was the person that he has, that's the person that they thought that they have gotten him. But when he jumped out, they look at him as a black leg. Black legs will always call people black legs. Anyway, 5 minutes to go. I would like to take a sip of water and then come back and then we will conclude.
Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. You know my name, oh Daddy, you know me, you know my name. I can see your hand in my life. Lord, I see your love upon me. Every time I look around, now you are the see. Every time I turn around, now you are the view. I dey hear your voice in my heart. Lord, I feel your love over me. Every time I look around, now you are the see. Every time I turn around, now you are the pillow. Abba Father, you know my name. Papa, you know me. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Reverend Sama John, God bless you. I don't know. I mean, it's just that I should just continue with you and just continue with you. Papa God, you know my name. And he knows the name of Ambazonia. Abba Father, you know the name of Ambazonia. And that's why we are rejoicing. And that's why we are grateful. My brother, thank you very much for this inspiration. And I'm looking forward to getting something more from you. Another concern, Ambazonia has just sent me a message and say, hey, that message that is coming from Home Front, please try to find out what it is. Anyway, I've sent the message to my boss and I'm waiting for my boss to give a reply. Once he gives me the reply, I will let Ambazonians know the message. And I want to warn the people in that area to make sure that they report this nonsense immediately to the appropriate quarters. And our ARFs should take special note. If they are the ones perpetrating this, it should be, anyway, let me not give an injunction. My boss is replying me very shortly and I'll get it across to you. Ambazonia, I want to tell you that we are organized. Ambazonia is organized. And Ambazonia is standing very, very strong and firm. And our institutions are being put into use now. Now, if you know that you are from a particular LGA and you know you are interim House of Rep, a representative there, please find out a number of things from that interim house concerning your LGA. And of course, they're supposed to be reporting to the house every time they have a meeting, and whenever they have to take some serious decisions concerning you, they in the interim House of Representatives, they have to discuss it with you, get your opinion, and then before they actually vote, especially if it is a long-term program or project that they are voting for. Nobody should go in there and vote something for a people that they don't agree. It is not permitted. I would not want this to go ahead. That is why this interim government has come back and reiterated the constitution of the Ambazonian people. Recently, I got a document from the interim government, and this document is the current terms of reference for the interim government. Current terms of reference for the interim government. Please get a copy of the terms of this reference from the interim government and make sure that you read them. Read them. If you don't read them, send me a word of a particular office that you want to know about the terms of reference. I am here to let you know, like current events is being turned into history. Now, my boss is writing something. Once he finishes, I will call it quit for today. But Ambazonians, I want to thank you so much for being attentive and knowing that our history is out to make sure that we get knowledge and we get into Ambazonia. To our defense men and women on ground, on home front, I want to plead with you. Don't just go on the air and make an audio and then insult the people of the diaspora, because the people who are giving you information that you are not insulting them are still people in the diaspora, of which you are adhering to them. You are hearing them. And when you make those insults, there is a word that when you use, we know that you are directing it directly to the interim government who is supporting you, and not to the groups that are sending you those kinds of information to disintegrate the interim government. We know that. We know that. For example, when somebody talk and say, some call themselves president, who is calling president again? All right, if you are talking about the presidents that are calling themselves, there are Njangi presidents all over the place. So are these Njangi presidents the one giving you information? They are not giving you instructions. They give you information for you to take care of yourself and watch out. But when they give this information, and this information, you think that is instructions, you reject it, and look at what is happening. And when death comes, you turn to blame the diaspora. Oh, they are not united. What do you mean by unity? United is not coming in to be in the same house. We are united to go to Boya. If I tell you that, hey, watch out for La Republique, and the next person comes and tells you, watch out for La Republique, we are talking the same thing. Now, when you see the action on the ground, maybe with other forces, that for long, you can testify. You think we are the only people who are hearing? There are some people who have now gone into the cooler because they joined hands with a group of people who were not fighting. And we sang it and sang it and sang it and sang it and sang it. I don't know what demonic powers they use on some of you, that very soon you forget yourselves. And, and when you forget yourselves, you come out and you talk some things that are not actually going on. My boss is still writing. He has been writing for long. I'm not seeing anything. Okay, let's get our brother. It's remaining 2 minutes for me to get off.
My name, Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. You know my name, oh Daddy, you know me, you know my name.
My dear friend, can you just make a turn around and see Abba Father, the person to whom Ambazonia has been handed over to? If you can turn around and see him, I am telling you, your language will change, your actions will change, your thoughts will change, because he sees you and he's where you are. But when you don't know him and you don't see him, and you can talk anyhow, anywhere, you can even disintegrate him. Okay. Okay. My boss has written, and I will give you the announcement, and then I will go. My boss has said that sometimes the ARF does what is going on now in a particular county. I don't know whether I should mention the name of the county. And I think that my friend who is writing this to me from that county, my boss has confirmed that that particular county, they normally do that kind of carry out. So it could be it is that situation that is going on. I will talk to you after we have finished. So, Ambazonians, I just want to let you know that the situation that I announced, that somebody on home front is telling me that is presently making current events, my boss has confirmed that sometimes they do it to make sure that things go the way they're supposed to go. So for now, is positive. All right, that's the announcement. So there should be no fear, and Ambazonians should get ready, because we will be bringing to you continuous current events that are turning into history. Possibly same time tomorrow, I shall be coming in with possibly tomorrow or after tomorrow. I don't really know, but I shall be coming in with my two historians, one at a time, and then we shall get it done. Ambazonians, I want to, anyway, let me not make the announcement, but let me make this announcement that I know. On Friday, on Ethics Commission, that starts at 10 p.m. Amber time, I want to encourage all of you to come in, because the man of the hour, the man of the hour is going to be there as the guest for Ethics Commission. And I think that this is a right place for him to actually come in as a guest for ethics, because his behavior was very ethical and moral. And so Dr. Tita shall be with us at 10 p.m. Amber time on Friday. Don't miss this particular program. He shall be talking to the Ambazonian people. For today, I want to call it quit, and handing over 21 gun salute to the people of Ambazonia, especially on home front. And I want to tell the defenders on home front that please don't just jump in and talk, because words have a very terrible power, either adversely or positively. So don't just talk words, because some people have intoxicated you to talk, and you come in to talk in that way. Meanwhile, your interim government that has been restored, the JOA government, has a plan, has a mission, and has a focus. And they will continue with their plan and their mission and their focus. It doesn't matter what happens. Let all the side talking and distraction, it will not deter them from going ahead. Mr. President and your team, I want to say congratulations. And God bless you. God bless Ambazonia. My brother, Sama, God bless you once again. I would like to have you come in with me whenever I'm going into the studios. And of course, when I remember his promises, I could not come with that today because of some technical issues. But by the next programs, I shall be bringing these two people to give us a touch of what the Almighty God is doing. Remember, a few days ago, we said in our history that we are going to analyze one song that was brought to us by an Ambazonian in those days, which says, Naweti be man. We are currently taking permission from this Ambazonian, and I believe that it shall be well. All right, we call it quit for today. And Reverend Sama, please go ahead and conclude with us, and tell us what he's thinking about us.
Feel your love over me. Every time I look around, now you are the sea. Every time I turn around, now you are the pillow. Abba Father, you know my name. Papa, you know me. Yeah. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yeah, yeah. Jesus, your love, now oh. My master, your kindness, now wonder oh. Every time I look around, now you are the sea. Every time I turn around, now you are the field. Jesus, you said I be a picking, no. Jesus, you said